Hi, I'm Rika Brandon, recruiting and retention expert for Building Gurus, where we help building products leaders find, hire, and keep the top talent they need to achieve their business goals. So this week, I'm excited to talk to you about some quick tips about onboarding, because onboarding is something that can get easily overlooked, especially if you don't have somebody in your HR department, or maybe you don't even have an HR department that really owns this piece of the puzzle. So I'm going to cover some high level things that you really need to make sure you're including, so you're maximizing that experience for that person who's coming on. And here's the reason why it matters to you. One, when people are onboarded correctly, they feel a much stronger connection to the company. They feel much more like they're going to succeed in their role, and they are much less likely to leave within 90 days or 6 months. Versus if their onboarding is really chaotic and inefficient, you have no tethers holding them to the company. So this is your chance to, one, limit turnover, but also set them up for success. So it's pretty much a no-brainer that you should spend a little time doing this. You went through all the effort of hiring them, you're paying the payroll. Do this to set them up to succeed. And so the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we've communicated expectations about activities and results. If you listen to any of my videos, I talk about this a lot happening in the selection process, because we don't want anyone to feel like there's a bait and switch. We want to make sure that we're all clear about this is what this job entails, and this is what you're going to do day in and day out. So with that, we want to make sure we have those clear expectations. Now, of course, we all know they're not going to start hitting their activity numbers on day 2 or 3, right? In some things, it might take 3 weeks. In some things, it might only take 3 days. In many things, it'll take 30 days or 6 weeks for people to really be able to start hitting that. So be sure you're being realistic and setting up graduated tiers of performance versus expecting them to be fully functioning 2 weeks in, unless it is an unbelievably simple role. The next thing we want to do is really set up that orientation to succeed. And so what that is, hey, here's the deal. Somebody spent some time thinking about this role, this position. And again, if you have a training and development department, great. This probably isn't a problem for you. If you are looking to your hiring managers or supervisors to do this, give them some time blocks where they can focus on just doing this, so they have it. And it can be as simple as a spreadsheet or a doc with the steps, or it can be a robust, multi-channel, video, written, everything training. I don't really care. I just want it to be well thought out and executed consistently. So with that orientation, we of course want to know, like, where do I go to the bathroom? How do I get into my email? What are the tools I need? Where do I get support for, this, that, the other thing? And so with that, that's really day one, right? A lot of it is just making sure they know how to get the answers they need. They have the answers. If you are in a place where you can assign them a mentor or a buddy who can be like their peer that they go to for questions, that will really lighten the load on the manager. And also that peer is much more easy to approach for the new hire. Also, please be sure to reward that buddy, because it can be kind of time consuming and affect your own productivity if you're training somebody. So recognize what you're asking and reward appropriately. And then the next thing is really planning out that on-ramp, that ramping up time. So you have clear expectations of what they're going to do by when. So I encourage you, if you don't have these 3 simple things, you really need to take the time to do it, because what you're doing is missing opportunities to create relationships with those new hires, build anchors into your company so they feel secure and welcome and like they know what they need to do. Because if you don't do that in the beginning, they're much more likely to continue looking. And when they start with you, chances are they've still been applying to a lot of jobs, so they're still going to have opportunities coming in. So I want you just to be clear that this is a very important use of time and energy, and it's worth paying that supervisor or paying the HR person and the supervisor to connect to really map it out. So anyway, without further ado, these are my tips to help you onboard more effectively. That shouldn't be too overwhelming, and you should be able to do with or without a training department, and even with or without an HR department. So I wish you the best. I hope this helps. If you have any questions or want to work with us, definitely reach out to us at buildinggurus.com/discovery to learn how we can help you finally solve those recruiting and retention challenges. Otherwise, if you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get notified whenever I drop a new video. So until we see each other again, happy hiring.